webinar where we will launch the e-learning course on the UNECE Air Convention and our latest protocols. I am Anna Engleryd and I work for the Swedish Environmental Protection Agency, and I have currently the pleasure of being chair of the Air Convention. And I will be the moderator for this webinar today. And before the COVID-19 pandemic, I was not very used to attending or participating in webinars. I was not used at all to these virtual working modes. But the travel restrictions has made me discover new ways of functioning and working. And even if it is not so nice to not meet people face to face as much as we used to, I think that this has opened some new possibilities. For example, that we can interact with people from all around the world by sitting in our own house, or in my case here in my daughter's bedroom today. Sorry for the background, not very professional. Nevertheless, so these travel restrictions has made us change the way that we work and function. And we are saving time, money, and environment. However, air pollutants has not understood the travel restrictions, so they shamelessly continue to cross borders, causing harm to human health and environment very far from the source. I think that many of you have heard that we sometimes call air pollution the invisible killer, because the WHO are estimating that about 7 million premature deaths a year around the world is due to air pollutants. 7 million premature deaths a year, and we are in this together. And in the UNECE region, when we realized many years ago that this was an international problem demanding international solutions, this led to the creation of a legally binding agreement, namely the Convention on Long-Range Transboundary Air Pollution. And this was back in 1979. So this means that we are now the oldest multilateral environmental agreement in the world. And over these years, we have learned a few lessons, and we are now keen to share our lessons learned and our experience. We have gained insights both when it comes to scientific and technical issues as well as policy. And the e-learning course that will be presented today intends to assist countries in effectively addressing air pollution, improve air quality management, prevent and reduce emissions. And you can also learn about the convention as an international framework and our latest amended protocols. But before we kick off, I would like to give you a few housekeeping reminders for the webinar. So by default, I think, everyone is muted except for the speaker. And anyone can post comments and responses using the chat room, and we will try to monitor that and read them out. So far, we have some good greetings there. If you would like to speak, please raise your hand and wait until you've been given the floor. And when you have been given the floor, unmute yourself and turn on your camera, and please try to be short and concise. And unfortunately, even if it's nicer to see everybody, we ask you to turn your camera off when not speaking so that we are saving some bandwidth. Try to minimize distractions from around you. And for your information, this webinar will be recorded. So before we start, and as a warm-up, I would like to ask you a question, and we should have the answer in a system called the Mentimeter. And I think that in the chat box, you now have a QR code that you can scan with your phone, or you have a link that you can get into. And you have about 20 to 30 seconds to respond to this question. Where are you from? And your answers are, of course, anonymous. Oh, wow, I could see that the non-Europeans and North Americans were quicker to start answering, but now the Europe and North America is picking up here in percentage. But I can anyway note that we do have, with an overweight for people from Europe and North America, we do also have participants from Asia, the Pacific, Africa, Latin America, and the Caribbean, and this is very encouraging. I hope we will have good discussions. So I think everybody has answered now. Thank you. We will use this Mentimeter function a bit later on as well in this webinar. So keep the link or the code for scanning. So just before we start with the e-learning course, I would just like to give a little bit of background to the AIR Convention as such, especially for those of you who have not heard of it before. So a short presentation from my side, and here I would like to ask the Secretariat to please share the slides. And I think you can go to the second one immediately. Please. Yes, thank you very much. So the convention was established 40+ years ago as a result of the debate on acid rain in the 60s and 70s. And when we got this insight that air pollutants are traveling very long distances, and thus this is an international problem that can only be solved with international cooperation. And we are a regional convention. We have 51 parties from the North American region to Europe and the countries east of Europe in Central Asia and Caucasus. And the convention has successfully been built out with no less than 8 protocols, regulating a large number of substances. And you can see quite significant results since the 1990s. Of course, if you work with the AIR Convention, you would like to say that it's all thanks to us. There may have been some other factors as well, but we have seen emissions dropping quite significantly since the 1990s. And we can see the results in nature where ecosystems are recovering. You can change slide, please. So we do have 2 main science bodies under the convention. No, sorry, this is the other slide. Yes, the areas of work. So we are now an international platform for discussing and agreeing new emission limit reduction targets. And I think that here I should have had a slide where we had the organigram of the convention. Because what I would like to show you, thank you, there it comes, is that we have a very, very large scientific network. The groups called the Working Group on Effects and the EMEP steering body, meaning European Monitoring and Evaluation Program, are all scientific and technical groups providing information to the policy part of the convention, which is gathered under the Working Group on Strategies and Review on the other side of the slide. And here I would like to specifically point in this context to the group that is here called Task Force on International Cooperation on Air Pollution, or the Forum, which is a group created to exchange more information and cooperate more with also other regions outside of the UNECE. Next slide, please. So we have 2 main science bodies under the convention, as you saw in the previous slide, and they do give advice and guide the policy work. The EMEP, European Monitoring and Evaluation Program, plays an important role providing information on emissions, transports of these emissions, and the deposition of air pollutants. And they do work with atmospheric monitoring and modeling, emission inventories, emission projections, and integrated assessments. The other group we have is called the Working Group on Effects, and it provides information on impacts of air pollutants on human health, the environment, and also materials and cultural heritage. And it helps us to identify the most endangered areas. And long-term monitoring is an important part of its work. Next, please. And as I said earlier, the policy work is mainly being done under what we call the Working Group on Strategies and Review. And what we are currently doing on the policy side is that we are busy with reviewing one of our latest protocols, called the Gothenburg Protocol. The amended version of it was entering into force in 2019. And by the end of this year, we hope to conclude the review and then start discuss what is the next step in our fight for air pollution. Also stipulated under the protocols is that we shall exchange experiences on strategies, policies, and measures. So this we are also doing. In addition to the emission reduction targets, we also, for certain pollutants, we also set emission limit values for stationary and mobile sources, and also for agriculture. And to assist countries in their implementation, we have developed a number of guidance documents that are identifying the best abatement options. And besides the obligations that we have in the protocols, we are also looking for other more innovative instruments to reduce pollutants. And here we have, for example, the Batumi Action for Cleaner Air, where countries can take voluntary actions to reduce emissions. And in response to the need for increased cooperation with countries in other regions, as I mentioned, we have established a forum for international cooperation that you will hear a little bit more about in a minute. Next, please. Yes, since the countries in our region, we work at slightly different speeds, and we have different problems and also sometimes different solutions, and thus different needs. So our Convention Secretariat is therefore managing a capacity building and awareness raising program where countries can get assistance of setting up national emission inventories, making analysis of national legislation, setting up action plans, and get other kind of help to facilitate ratification and implementation of the convention and its protocols. And the e-learning course, which is developed under this program, is what we are going to hear about today. Next, please. Yes, so what have we learned then over the years? Well, we have learned that our strong science policy interface, which develops over time to adapt to new challenges, is key to success. And we have also learned that it has built a strong expert network, which is providing exchange for scientific exchange and cooperation in the longer term. And the financing mechanism of the convention is a mix of mandatory and voluntary cash and in-kind contributions. And this has built an ownership amongst the parties, amongst the countries. And many of them are involved in leading or hosting different groups. To give a strong policy guidance to parties and to provide a platform for exchange of experiences are important components for success. And the capacity building has helped to create a level playing field that we have used or are using under the convention. So all in all, cooperation is key. And we need to work on all levels, from the local level to the national level, to the regional level, and also the global one, to fight air pollution. And I will now leave the floor to Alison Davies to give you a few words on the newly created Forum for International Cooperation that I just mentioned. So please, Alison.
Thanks, Anna. Hopefully you can see my screen.
Yes.
Yes, thanks, Carolyn. So yes, as Anna said, my name's Alison Davies. I'm from the Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs in the United Kingdom. And as Anna's just mentioned, there's an exciting new initiative in the Air Convention called the Forum for International Cooperation on Air Pollution, or FICAP, or the Forum. So sort of use those terms interchangeably, just possibly slightly confusing. And this is something that's been developed and shaped by many of the participants on this webinar over the last few years and is now coming to fruition. It's being co-chaired by the United Kingdom and Sweden, and the vision is to promote international collaboration and mutual learning towards preventing and reducing air pollution to improve air quality globally. So some of this will involve sharing the work and lessons learned from within the Air Convention more widely, such as what is covered in this e-learning course being presented today, and also working with the current capacity building programme, the Secretariat run, which Anna has mentioned. But also, we're a regional convention and we're keen to engage internationally and learn from and collaborate with other countries, regions and organisations on how they've been tackling air pollution. So FICAP plans to be open to representatives of all interested countries, international organisations and experts working in the field of air quality. And we're really keen to have a wide range of participants. Click on to the next slide. So we're planning our first small meeting to shape FICAP and to plan for our first forum event, which will be held in October in Bristol, in the United Kingdom. And then the first wider forum event will be held in March next year in Gothenburg, Sweden, on one side of the 7th Saltsjöbaden workshop. More detail will be coming out about this in due course, but we'd really like a wide participation of countries and interested experts, so please get in touch if you're interested in finding out more. I put a couple of contact details for my colleague John from the UK side and Petra from the Swedish side on the slide, and I'll also add those contact details into the chat so they're a bit more accessible. And that's really all I wanted to say now, but so I'll hand back to Anna.
Thank you very much, Alison, for that introduction. So get in touch if you're interested to participate in our forum. So now we are approaching the core of this webinar, namely the presentation of the e-learning course. But before doing that, I would like to give the floor to Colm Hastings from the United Nations Institute for Training and Research to introduce the e-learning platform on which this e-learning course is hosted. So Colm, please, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Anna. I just wanted to also start as well by thanking colleagues at UNECE for what has been a great collaboration in the development of this course over the past few months. From experience, I can say it's certainly not always as straightforward as this, so we very much appreciated their support. So thanks again to Carolyn and her team. So my name is Colm Hastings, and I'm a green economy consultant at the UN Institute for Training and Research, based in rainy Geneva at the moment. And UNITAR also hosts the Secretariat for UNCC Learn. So for those of you that don't know, UNCC Learn is a joint One UN initiative of more than 30 multilateral organisations that are working together to help countries build the knowledge and skills needed for effective climate action. And at UNCC Learn, we have two learning platforms. And today, I'm just going to give you a very quick demo of our e-learning platform, which is the single largest dedicated learning platform on climate change around the world. So I'm just going to share my screen quickly and bring that up. Whilst I do, I just thought I'd give you a very quick bit of background. So the platform was developed and launched in 2014 with one course. I've been reliably informed that the UNECE course that is launching today is now our 43rd, so you can see how that's grown pretty exponentially over that time. We can also say the same in terms of our users. So I think by the end of 2014, we had around 800 people registered to the platform. As you can see now, we have well over 500,000, and we've issued nearly 200,000 certificates over that time. So the numbers have been growing pretty impressively over the past 8 or so years. So just to start with, I'm going to log in quickly. Also on this page is where you can register to the platform if you haven't already done so yet. So it'll then take a couple of minutes to create a new account, and then you can access all of our courses. Okay, so to begin with, so this is the homepage of the platform. I'll start by saying that the platform's available in 6 different languages. So with this tab just here, you can choose a range of different languages to browse the platform in. I'm going to have to stick to English today, I'm afraid. I'm not very fluent in any of the others. And then I know I've only got a couple of minutes. I'm just going to spend the rest of the time walking you through our course catalogue. As I said, we do have 43 courses now, so we have 2 tabs just up here, as you can see. So if you click on My Courses, that will show you all of the courses that you're currently enrolled in. And then if we click on All Courses, that shows all of the courses that are currently available on the platform, with the new UNECE course right there in the top left-hand corner. So all of our courses are split into 2 different themes. So we have courses that are related to climate change, and you can see just here those courses that are tagged under the climate change theme. But then we also have a range of courses under the theme of green economy. So we also have one here that's just been released with GIZ on sustainable finance. Then under the course tile, you can see some information, some general information on each of the courses. So we have information on the type of course. We have 3 different types of courses, ones that have been developed by ourselves in partnership with UN or other partners, such as this one to the right on building climate resilience. We have affiliated courses, which the UNECE course actually is. So that's a course that's been developed by one of our partners, but has passed through an affiliation process with us and is then being hosted on our platform. And then we also have a small number of tutorials, which are very short, 30-minute to 1-hour lessons. We have also a small number of those on a range of different topics. We also then have here an estimation of the learning time for each course, and most of our courses range between 2 to 4 hours. We do also have some longer ones. Actually, I worked on one last year that was designed for universities, which is up to 30 hours. It's a bit more extensive. And then also here we have information on the languages. So most of the courses are developed in English, but we also have courses that have been developed in 16 other languages as well. As you can see, the eLearning CE course here is also available in Russian as well. So I know I'm very short of time, so I just also wanted to provide a very quick overview of what the courses actually look like. So this is our, shall we say, our flagship course called Climate Change from Learning to Action. It's also our most popular course to date. So most of our courses, once you've enrolled, for free, just as a quick reminder, all of our courses are free as a public good. Once you've enrolled, you'll be brought to an overview page. It provides a bit of information on what the course will cover. So generally we have a teaser video that's been developed by one of my brilliant colleagues, Lorenzo. It's here where you can also download the syllabus, which provides a lot of information on what the course will cover. And much of that information is also available on the overview page. So we have information relating to the learning objectives, the course structure, the different types of content that the course will cover. Many of the courses on this page will have information on the experts or the instructors that will be either developing or guiding you through the learning process. And then we also have some information on the certification criteria, which I will come back to in just a moment. So that's the overview page. Then we also have the course page, which contains each of the different modules that are part of that course, as well as all of the different learning activities. This is kind of the skeleton, the framework for all of the different activities that you will need to complete. I'll very quickly show you, for example, this is one of the lessons from Learning to Action course. So we have a range of different learning activities for users to complete. We have, for example, a reflection based here on an image, inviting the participants to reflect on a particular point. We have the actual interactive lesson itself, which are generally developed in RICE, which is one of the more advanced learning development tools that we're using at the moment. A range of different exercises to test users' knowledge, which is also an important element. We also have here a short video and the final reflection at the end. So yeah, that's just a very quick overview of what the courses cover. And then also we have at the top here a certification page. So each of our courses are certified, which means that once you complete all of the learning activities and pass that successfully, matching certain criteria, you can receive a unique UN certificate of completion, and you will be able to download that from this page once all of those criteria have been met or passed. We do also have or invite participants to complete a short survey after each of our courses. This is just a way for us to kind of learn a bit more about what our users thought of the learning process, and also gives us insights on how we can improve that in the future. Okay, I'm very conscious of not running over time, so before I leave, I just wanted to go back to the homepage and scroll right down to the bottom. If you may remember, I mentioned at the beginning that we have two platforms. So at the bottom here, we have a link to other learning initiatives and resources, and that takes us to our knowledge sharing platform, which contains a wide range of different resources related to climate change and climate change learning. So for example, we have here a library, what we call our climate change library, which contains links to all of the latest reports and publications that have been developed by our partners. And again, they're also they're always freely accessible and available to use from each of our, whoever wishes to participate. And then finally, just to round off, we encourage all of our users to participate in our social media campaigns. So we have one here that's specifically geared towards CC Learn alumni. So we invite our users around the world, once they've completed their certificate, they can upload a picture of their certificate to Twitter or Instagram using the tag CC Learn alumni, and then they can exchange and share that with other alumni around the world. And just as a final point, we do have a lot of interesting exclusive alumni engagement events that we're currently planning for later this year. So if you haven't signed up to the platform already, it's certainly a brilliant time to do so. I think, yeah, I should stop there. That was a very, very quick tour of the platform. Please feel free to shoot any questions across if you do have any. Back to you, Anna.
Thank you very much, Colm, for this introduction. Yes, it was quick, but as you said, we have the chat function, and you are welcome to put any questions there, and we will try to forward them to the right persons. Thanks for this. And you said that the From Learning to Action was your most popular course. I would say up to now. This will change soon because here comes the Air Conventions e-learning course. And I now turn to Caroline Sanz-Noriega from the Convention Secretariat to present our e-learning course. Please, Caroline, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Anna. And let me just try to share my screen. I hope you can see it. And you can just confirm.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, yes.
That's great. Yeah, as Anna just said, my name is Carolyn, and I'm working with the Air Convention Secretariat, and we're super excited to launch our e-learning course on the Convention on Long-Range Transboundary Air Pollution today. And first of all, I would like to say that this project would not have been possible at all without the financial contributions by our generous donors, the European Union, Germany, and Sweden. So we would like to thank these three donors for supporting this project. And as Colm just said, we also had a great collaboration with UNITAR, and I would really like to thank UNITAR, Colm, and Christina for hosting the course on the UNECC Learn platform. And there are also many, many individuals who have contributed to this course. So another big thanks to everyone who contributed with expertise and time. And I think everybody who did so knows who I'm talking about. So thank you very much. I'm trying to shift slides here. Let's see if that works. Okay. Now, so in this presentation, I will go quickly over the points that you find here on the slides, namely the aim of the course, for whom it was developed, the learning objectives, the content and structure of the course, its methodology and certification and evaluation. And I will show you how the course looks like, and we will go over some of the content with some fun quizzes. So why did we develop this course? We developed it to assist countries in effectively addressing air pollution and improving air quality management. The course also aims to raise awareness about air pollution and its effects, ways to prevent and reduce harmful emissions, and the convention and its protocols as an international framework for cooperation on cleaner air. We wanted to make the knowledge that has been gathered under the convention accessible to those who already deal with the convention, but also to those who are not yet familiar with the convention framework and want to learn from the convention and its wealth of knowledge. And who should take the course? So we developed this course primarily to build capacities of policymakers, government officials, staff from intergovernmental and non-governmental organizations, private sector professionals, students, academia, but also any other stakeholders. And in particular, we think that this course will be useful for those who cooperate within the convention framework or those who wish to do so. And we hope that ultimately taking this course will enable learners to contribute to and ultimately also drive forward actions on cleaner air. So more concretely, looking at the learning objectives, after completing the course, learners should be able to identify key air pollutants and their sources and effects, recall measures to reduce and prevent air pollution, recognize the value of the convention as a framework for international cooperation to reduce air pollution, define basic principles under the convention and its protocols, explain the basic obligations under the convention's protocols, and identify the key stakeholders and processes under the convention and its protocol. And the course features 4 distinct modules, as we will see in just a minute. And each of the 4 modules consists of specific module learning objectives and contains a broad range of features, including videos and informative texts. And each module is divided into 3 to 5 lessons approximately. And the course as a whole, as you might have seen already when Colm showed it, will take around 3 to 4 hours or 3.5 hours total to complete. and it's available in English and in Russian language. The course is self-paced and can be completed according to the schedule of the learner. And each of the modules is self-standing and so can be accessed in any order. However, we recommend completing the modules in sequence as they will build on each other in a logical manner. And in order to prepare for the end of course assessment, we also recommend that learners complete all modules. Participants can take an end of course assessment to gain a certificate of completion. And once the certification criteria have been met, which with a passing score of 70%, and after completing a course evaluation survey, participants will be able to download their certificate from the course's web page. So now onto the fun part. Let's take a look at the course itself. So here, as we saw before, we have the UNCC Learn eLearn platform. And then we log into the course, we log into the platform and then look for, this was wrong. Sorry, trying again. Okay, and then we look for our course. So we log into the platform, then we look into, and then we look for the air convention course. We enroll, and then we go to the overview page. So here's the overview page. And from this page, you can also download the syllabus and then we go to the course page to find the modules. Here you find all 4 modules and the final assessment. And we now open module 1 and can then navigate the course. At the top, you have notes for the narration text and resources documents. And as you can see, this first module consists of 5 lessons. So for example, there are a couple of slides on effects of air pollution on human health and also on ecosystem and biodiversity. So here we have ecosystem and biodiversity. And then there are also some questions to check your understanding integrated into the different modules. So here we have a matching question, for example. Be very attentive. There might be some quizzes later on. And then the module goes on to the convention itself, the main provisions. Here you have the main provisions and obligations, and also the bodies under the convention and the other activities. So here you have an organigram, which you have seen before in Anna's presentation. And at the end of each module, you can also check key takeaways. So this is for the first module. Let's have a look at a quiz question that I've taken from the course. And again, you go to the chat box now, and there is a QR code and a link, and you can vote. And I ask Ketevan to show the question. Yes, and the question is, what is acidification? Is acidification the process of accumulation of nutrients in water bodies and soils? Or is it the process of SO2 and NOx depositing in water and on soils and increasing their acidity? Please go ahead and vote. I see there people are voting, already 29 people voting, 32, and it's 100%. All right, so maybe a couple of seconds more, but it seems like this was a question that was way too easy for you. Okay, so we closed the voting, and indeed, this was an easy one. Acidification is the process of SO2 and NOx depositing in water and on soils and increasing their acidity. So you already know a little bit about air pollution and its effects. And now I'm going to share my screen again. So now on to the other modules. I hope you can see.
Yes, we can.
Yes, okay, perfect. Thank you so much for confirming. So now here we have module 2, which is the module on the protocol to abate acidification, eutrophication, and ground level ozone, or as we call it, the Gothenburg Protocol. Pay close attention. There might be some hints again in the video for the next quiz question. And I'm going to start the video. All right. So this going again into the module, entering, and then start the module. Again, there's notes and resources at the top. And this module has 3 lessons. And it gives an overview of the key principles, basic obligations, and provisions of the technical annexes that the parties to the protocol must comply with. And for example, on this slide, we can see the pollutants the protocol regulates, the objectives of the protocol, and the main instruments through which the objectives should be achieved. The module also looks at the basic technological processes running in different types of activities that are sources of emissions and the types of control measures that can be applied. The module also introduces existing guidance documents to facilitate implementation of the protocol's requirements and highlight synergies between provisions of the protocol and the EU acquis. So here we have the different activities. And again, oops, sorry for that. This is what I wanted to show. There is some quiz question integrated. No, it didn't want to. I'm sorry. What I wanted to show is that there are some quiz questions integrated into the module, and there are also, again, key takeaways at the very end for learners to check their understanding. So now we're coming to the second question, and I would again ask my colleague Ketevan to show the question. And again, you will find in the chat box a link. And here's the question: which pollutants does the Gothenburg Protocol regulate? Select all that apply. And possible answers are SO2, NOx, VOCs, PM, NH3, CO2, and CD, or cadmium. And see people voting. Give a little bit of time. So I think we can close the voting now and look at the results. So yeah, very good. Seems like you really pay attention. The correct answers are SO2, NOx, VOCs, PM, and NH3. And CO2 is not covered under this convention, but under the UNFCCC. And cadmium is covered under the protocol on heavy metals to the Air Convention. So thank you very much for participating in this little quiz. And now let me just share my screen again for the last little video. Okay. And as you can see, let me just, all right. As you can see, there are 2 more modules on the protocol on heavy metals and the protocol on persistent organic pollutants. And what I would like to show you here is that the course is also available in Russian. So let's start this. So for this, we go back to my courses and select the course in Russian. And you can also change the language of the platform interface here, as Colm also showed before. And it works the same as for the English modules. You choose the module, enter, and then you can follow the course in Russian. We have a look at the module on heavy metals here. You can also see that the notes and resources are in Russian. And here we have 3 lessons. And then we can also have a look at the final assessment, which is also available in English and in Russian. And here we can see one of the questions for the final assessment. Okay, and lastly, when you have successfully taken the final assessment, you will then be able to download your certificate, which then looks like this. So this is a little snapshot of the course, and we very much hope that you will take the course, enjoy it, and that it will be useful in your work on clean air. Here are the links to the course, the direct links, and it's also available. The links are also available on the convention's webpage, and we're happy to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Caroline, for this demonstration of the e-learning course. I think it is quite impressive, the amount of information that you have managed to get into this course. And as you said, it is now available in both English and Russian. So I invite any questions from the audience. You can write your question in the chat function, or you can raise your hand. I'm trying to check. I'm not very good at this. This is something that you had to learn when working virtually, to be able to check chat functions and participant lists, etc. at the same time. And for the time being, I see no questions, but here we get the link to the course from Caroline.
Okay.
And do you see any questions? If not, I have one.
There's
Here it comes from Judith.
You did.
Great work, colleagues. Are you planning to create a French version as well? So, Caroline, are we planning to create a French version?
We would love to, if we receive some funds to do that. Yes, we would definitely want to also create other language versions, not only maybe a French version, but it could also possibly be a Spanish version if there is interest and possible funds for this. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. Yes, and as you said, there are also other languages that may be of interest. And here, of course, I assume that the new group, the Forum for International Cooperation, sees some interest in also having this course in other languages. So that may happen in the future. We also have a question here from Cornelia Tate, sorry for the pronunciation. I assume it is okay to promote the course via our own networks. I suppose, yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Please promote widely. Absolutely.
Please promote it. And this is free of charge. So this is a tool that you could freely spread or the information about it. Then we have another question here. Oh yeah, that's the same question actually. Are other languages envisioned in the future? Spanish version. And I see Carly nodding, and I nod as well. Spanish is obviously a very interesting language to translate this course into. Here we have a question from Soraya from UNEP. Thank you so much for this great demo, Caroline, she says. How long does it take to complete the whole course?
It takes 3.5 hours.
Wow,
but it also depends a little bit on the 3.5 hours. It depends a little bit on the learner. Of course, there is also additional material that the learner can review. So yeah, the average time or estimated time is 3.5 hours.
Thank you. And we get the same question here actually from Kimber Scavo as well. So Kimber, you also got your answer here. Then we have a question, languages we already spoke about, but what accessibility options are available? accessibility options, I suppose it is through this module that you need to access the course, Caroline.
Yes, that's right. And we recommend that the course be taken on a laptop or a tablet. It's not really designed for a mobile phone, so you should take it on a little bit bigger screen if you have one available. Yes.
Thank you. And here comes a question from someone we know, from Tiziano. He wonders if there is something like slides or other material that the user can download from this e-learning course.
Absolutely. All the resources, documents, which include a document on the whole course, they are all downloadable. So for each of the modules, there are a number of resources document, and this includes also a module document which has sort of all the slides and all the narration text included. So you can download that and review that even after taking the course. And then, of course, we have the syllabus, which is more to get you started, so to say.
Thank you very much. I will now let a guest in. We have Alice Kaudia, who has her hand up. Please, Alice, you have the floor, and it would be nice to see you. And don't forget to unmute. Alice, please. Are you with us?
Yes, I am. Sorry. Thank you so much for giving me the floor. I'm speaking from Nairobi, Kenya, but I coordinate this Africa Integrated Assessment on Air Pollution and Climate Change, and thanks for the invitation. I'm very keen on this Forum for International Cooperation on Air Pollution, and we would wish to explore possibilities of a partnership with the African Union Commission because the assessment is for the whole of Africa. So unfortunately, I don't know, I'm also learning using these platforms. I can't see the chat function, so I've been missing out even on many things. I could have given a lot of feedback on the chat box. But this definitely is a very relevant, particularly the International Cooperation on Air Pollution platform is very useful, and I'm sure we are going to join you. We have a lot to learn, and also we have a lot to share from Africa. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alice. And this is exactly what we want this forum to be about. It's for sharing information. We also have a lot to learn from other regions. We are looking forward to working together with you. It's a pity that you could not see the chat function, but if you can send us a mail, you can send it to the Air Convention Secretariat. You will find them easily, or you can send it to Alison or Petra or John if you saw that those addresses in the slides, but I'm sure we can get in contact in one way or the other. Looking forward to this cooperation, and I see Caroline nodding. Are there any other questions? I see none. Let's see here. No, but I get some encouraging words here. Thanks to the Secretariat and the donors for supporting with this instrument, which I think will be very useful for our countries. I don't know from where this person is, but I think it's Albania. Thank you very much. That is encouraging. Do we have any other interventions from the floor or in the chat? I'm trying to monitor here.
I don't see any right now.
I don't see any either. So I will ask you a question, Caroline. You demonstrated this platform for me also the other day, so I have seen it before. But we spoke about possibilities to download documents and slides, etc., from this web. I suppose that also our guidance documents can be found through this platform.
Yes, that's correct.
They can, and can we also download and freely use those guidance documents from the e-learning course? They're quite substantial, some of them.
Yes, there are links, especially in the module on the Gothenburg Protocol, on the protocol on heavy metals and the protocol on POPs. These are the three protocols that we have the most guidance documents for, but then we also have some guidance documents on emission inventory reporting, and these are all linked or integrated directly in the course. So yes, you can when you go through the course, you find the links mostly on the right-hand side up top, and some of them are also integrated into the course.
Thank you. It seems like a good way also for some of us working with the convention for a long time to actually access some of the information developed under the convention. We have one question here now from Cecilia from Enea. Thank you very much, she says. Is it sufficient to register on the platform to attend the course?
Yes.
Is it, Caroline?
Yes, yeah. As Colin mentioned earlier, you create a login on the UNEC's eLearn platform, and then you can just freely browse through all the courses that they are on the platform, and you can find the course on the AIR convention and then just enroll. And that's it.
Seems quite easy. Thank you very much for that answer. Anything else? I think that there are no more questions in the chat. We also take encouraging words. Very happy for that. So you can write anything you want in these last minutes of this webinar. Oh, yes. We get thanks here again to all involved in the e-learning course. Could you please leave an email in case we may need to ask further questions? I think that maybe Secretariat could write your email address in the chat function. While we speak, some multitasking, Caroline. What about that? Of course, you are welcome to ask further questions.
Right.
And there you got Caroline's email. So on any questions connected to the e-learning, you are welcome to contact her. And we get thanks. I see no more hands, and I see, yes, I see encouragement, I think, from Till Spranger. And he thinks this is an excellent product, and he's also looking forward to specific convention collaboration with Africa, as mentioned. Yes, indeed we do. And Com Hastings also sends here a link to register to the e-learning platform that is also in the chat function now. So with that, I think it is time to close this webinar. So I would like to thank the presenters, and especially you, Caroline, and the Convention Secretariat, who has worked so hard on developing this course that I think will be very useful. And I'd like to thank, of course, all the participants for your active engagement, and encourage you to use this course to learn more about the convention and to engage with us through the forum. And the last thing I want to say is that the recording of this webinar will be uploaded to the UNECE and AIR Convention website. So with that, it's already uploaded and accessible, Caroline says. Okay, so I revise. It's already accessible and uploaded. Thank you very much to all of you, and happy continuation of your day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.